Dormail, home of a great night's sleep.
Hello.
Friday, Sunday, darlings.
Friday.
A lovely day. Bits of sun, bits of rain. Hashtag no change there.
No change there. I've got a little tip for you girls. A little
Yes,
tip.
yes.
Yes.
Tips.
A little
Little
cleaning tip, actually.
Oh,
From my grandma's kitchen. And this is really weird, right? I had to share this with you, and I know you're going to find this very boring, but it's better than me talking about the zip wire, okay?
Yeah.
And that is
anything's better than that, darling.
Yeah, exactly. I spoke to my daughter earlier, and she told me, because I came back from Brighton, and my kitchen floor just didn't look clean. You know, when you've been away in a lovely, pristine hotel. Anyway, she reminded me that my grandmother used to be on her hands and knees scrubbing the floor. Do you remember, like the old people used to do in those days? And she said soda crystals and a scrubbing brush is amazing. And so
darling,
yes,
darling, are you saying that you're willing to come round to all of us, get on your hands and knees with the soda and the scrubbing? Absolutely.
No, I didn't. No. I'm just advising you to do that. I know that certain people won't.
No, but I've got a cleaning tip that I did. So, you know, when you have round your shower, sometimes you get a bit of black mold around the bath or whatever.
Yes,
and you've got all these like sillet bag and things to do. Well, I thought, oh gosh, I haven't got anything here. I must do something. So I Googled it, and they said use bleach. So I've only got Domestos. I don't know if you've heard this. And then round where it is, and then put lots of toilet paper there as well, like turn it round, and you leave it overnight, and it gets rid of it completely.
Fabulous.
What if you've got black mold round your body? What do you do then?
The same thing, dear. Exactly the same thing.
You?
But that's just cover yourself in lavatory paper and throw on a bit of Domestos.
That's right. Or roll in the mud, make it worse.
Oh, don't you think that's interesting?
It is. It's fabulous, actually. That's really good.
Very.
Sherry, I want to know, Sherry and Debbie, Dee's already explained that she's happy to get on her knees and scrub. What about you girls?
No.
Well, I've never done it, so you have to tell me how to do it.
It's a mystery to me, dear. I've never done it either.
It's a mystery.
Mop all the way. Can you not mop the crystals, darling? Can we not mop them?
Well, I actually have mops, but the mopping doesn't do it, darling.
No,
Mrs. Mop doesn't do it. But it's going to be a real sort of a first for me too. But I'm looking forward to it.
You know what, Dee, darling?
Yes,
I do think you should get out more. There
must
must be something you can do and somewhere you can go.
Can we please bring in a guest? I'm sorry, I can't take much more of this.
I like it. And actually, before we bring in the guest, Sherry, I like what you're wearing. Can you give me a twirl, please?
Well, I can't show you. It's a little dress, actually.
Gorgeous.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Very
it's
lovely.
glamorous little dress. It's one of Keely's, of course, that I gave to her, and she's given back to me.
Oh, she's doing a little bit of you again, isn't she?
There's a bit of me.
And she can do all the what do you call the acrylics and all the, she can put anything on anything, anywhere. And in fact, this is one of her cups that she gave for my birthday. She did. So it says Nana.
Fantastic.
That's beautiful.
That is
Nana. I love that.
With a little heart.
Make one for each of us.
Yes,
I love those images.
Yeah, we should all get one. We'll get one.
We will.
I love that. I have it for the show. Each of us use it for the show all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell her today.
Now, Sherry,
brilliant.
Is there a shop called A Little Bit of Me because it's a little bit of you?
No, it's called A Little Bit of You because it's
Yes,
a little bit of
you, isn't it?
No, it's a little bit of you, isn't it?
I know.
I was imitating. All of it.
I was imitating. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
fantastic.
Well, actually, our next guest is a little bit of me. He's a little bit of my past, actually, because I went into his family. Well, kind of his family. Well, yes, his family. Into EastEnders when I went in there all those years ago. And we've been mates ever since. Please welcome my lovely friend, Sid Owen. Hello, Sid. Hello, darling, Sid. How lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming on the WonderBirds. It's lovely to have you here. Now, we must talk. I mean, I met you when we were doing EastEnders, when I came into your family. Well, came into the family.
Not enough.
I came into the kind of your kind of family, even though it wasn't your family, it was Bianca's family all those years ago. But Sid, you have been acting since you were a little boy. How did it all start?
Yeah, I started, I think about seven or eight, I think I got my first job. I was basically, I don't know if people were aware, but where I grew up was in Islington, North London, and there was an old drama group called Anna Sher, which lots of people have come out of there, and I'm sure
Kathy Burt's one of them.
The Kathy Burt, Linda Robson, Martin Kemp, Gary Kemp. So there was this lots of, it was sort of almost for sort of your kids off the street, the council kids. So it was very affordable and not your your expensive drama school back then. So I sort of joined there just as a thinking as another hobby to do, and really enjoyed it. And just sort of as soon as I got my first job, I've got the flavour for it, and getting out of school, getting paid, I was hooked. And then, but I genuinely enjoyed it for sort of looking back, because it was a good way of sort of channeling my emotions and energy and anger as well, growing up, obviously, from growing up with no parents. So it sort of helped me sort of take me away to another place and find a bit of peace.
So what happened to your parents? Sid, I didn't know you didn't have any parents.
So my mum died when I was 7 of cervical cancer. It was basically, it happened really quick. It was a matter of being told, we were told, and then sort of we're told that she was going to die as kids, and then literally 2 or 3 months later she died. It was it was one of those things that which is, thank God we've got all of that awareness now, and it's at the forefront of people talking about it, and going to get checked. It's it's important, because it would certainly save my mum's life, that's for sure, because I think she was just pretty carefree, 4 kids, and just shied it away and didn't go to the doctors. And luckily now it's more sort of accessible.
How old was she, Sid?
Only 35. It's like,
terrible.
You're starting to live at 35. It's it was only when you get older that you sort of realize it's like, wow, that is so young.
So what happened? Where did you live? What happened to your dad?
So my dad, I never knew. My dad, I sort of remember seeing him a couple of times. But it was that thing. I never had that vivid picture of him. Funny enough, it was only just recently I was like, oh, that's what he looks like, because I saw a picture of him in the Daily Mail. So I didn't. I never knew him, and I did, as I say. I'd say in the book, I sort of had a vague memories of meeting him, and one was, when he got sent to prison. I remember sort of, I weren't aware what prison was, but 4 years old. So that was sort of the only memory really that I had, and I suppose that, as I've got older, and you get used to not having anyone there to sort of, put their foot down and authority and all that, I sort of quite quickly came adjusted to sort of following my own path. So luckily, as I say again, it was thank God for the acting. It was
because that sort of disciplined it. Who did you live with then, Sid?
So my mum's sister, she never had kids, and she basically took 2 of us on. We were going to sort of, be put out for sort of adoption and be fostered, but luckily there was another friend of my mum's had taken my elder brother on. My eldest brother was actually old enough to sort of, live on his own anyway. He was like 17. So, and then it was me and my brother Scott, and then basically I sort of moved about a lot. I'd you know, explaining in the book, I found, you know, sort of friends and family were like family members that my mum luckily had said to, you know, a friend, "Oh, you know, keep an eye out for my boy when I, you know, go." And the Wooders, a prominent family in the book and who I grew up with, basically took me under their wing and, you know, sort of looked after me. So I'm, you know, grateful for that. It was
Wow.
my way of normality.
I really didn't know any of this about you. Know, I
Well,
really,
we
really
didn't talk
respect
about that
you.
on the QE2, did we, Deb?
We didn't. We had a lot of. We were on. We honestly, when we went on the QE2 together, we had the biggest. I have got photographs of you for some reason wearing very strange glasses.
Really?
They were, yes, they were sort of made of some sort of, you know, those things that you light up at concerts. I think you made them into glasses. Actually, Sid is one of the most fun people in the world. We have had a lot of adventures together. Even a couple of years ago, actually, Sid, Sherry, and me, we were doing something called Soap in the Cinema, which sort of went.
I know that sort of disappeared very quickly.
Yeah.
I think Cherry was involved in that as well, wasn't she?
I was, yeah. It was really good fun though on the day, wasn't it? We had a good laugh on the day. But Sid, listen, I want to talk to you about 100 years younger.
Yeah.
Because
I'm doing that now.
What an experience that was. I mean, not quite sure now when I look back what we were all doing, to be honest.
Well, we were, me, you, and Sean were like the three naughty kids that were basically everything that we were told we couldn't do, we were doing. that was basically our job.
Just to tell you girls, it was a show about having therapy and finding yourself. So we had rules and we had rooms each, and we had to say there was no alcohol. Wherein Sid and Sean Ryder and I, when Sid and I escaped one day. Do you remember, Sid?
Yeah.
We got out of the hotel and got down to the village. I can't remember how we got all the alcohol back.
We had to get
Did we hide it in Sean's room? I don't remember.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, it was a great gig. I mean, just to be in Sardinia for what, like a month, weren't we, Sherry?
It was a month, and we did things like I did colonic irrigation. Did you do that, Sid?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I've done.
And we did. What else? We did all sorts, didn't we? Like all sorts of different therapies to help ourselves. But we had a ball because us three were.
I felt great after though.
You are.
I did feel great after it. It was certainly beneficial, that's for sure.
It was because we were in Sardinia, in the place where people live to their 100 or something. The blue.
Wow.
Blue zone.
The
blue zone. That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's where we were, weren't we, Sid?
Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it? I mean, it was a great gig. It was, you know.
But the only thing is, do you remember the woman that tried to make us eat what she wanted us to eat? I've forgotten her name now.
What did you do? What did you do?
Well, we didn't. Us three didn't do any of it. We were really rebelled, didn't we?
Yeah.
I wonder who led that, though.
Yeah, it's a big departure for you, darling. I don't get that at all.
Can't imagine that.
Oh, it was funny though. We had a good time though.
It was a great time.
It was a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
But Sid, you're quite a health freak, aren't you? Anyway.
I'm all right. I exercise pretty much 5 or 6 days a week. I cook, so I eat very well. In fact, a bit too well at the moment.
Wow, that's going to be good for the latest announcement. Congratulations.
I think it's definitely something in the air that goes on with if your partner's pregnant. It's like I almost feel pregnant.
Yeah. Oh, how lovely.
I don't know what that feels like, ladies, but
I was going to say, excuse me.
I'm almost like hobbling about and feeling bloated. So I think that.
That's it.
Isn't that lovely?
That's your.
You must have been over the moon, Sid, to hear that news.
I am. It's like a long time coming. It's like it is a miracle, as I say. It's like I weren't expecting it.
Yeah, it is. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's we're chuffed to pieces. think her mum's more chuffed than even we are. She's like, you know, this is a miracle. You're out of doors, you know. And no, it's great. I'm still always on the, you know, on the fence. I'm like, you know, because there's always this next scam. And
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'll get this one out of the way. Get it. So, you know, I'm just waiting for the time that you can just feel free and like
hold the
know,
baby. Do you know what it is, Sid? Do you know what
we
it
do,
is?
but yeah, we're
can't
not telling
tell.
anyone.
You're
yet.
not saying.
No, we're going to give it another. Give it another.
Well, I tell you what, Sid.
We're 5
it'll be
months at the moment.
Well, what you have to always remember, it'll be a boy or a girl.
That's
Always have to remember.
We do know
Absolutely.
It's a baby.
Baby. Also said, you share a name with my grandfather and my daughter. They're all called Sid, both called Sid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
good
grandfather was called Sid Tiger Thomas. He was a boxer. So you see,
We've
good
got a lot in
company.
common. We might be related.
Exactly. Bet you are. Bet you are. Comes from the same part of London.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I'm
and I know, Sid, that your passion, one of your big passions is music, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I do love music. And, you know, I was lucky enough to sort of tap into it 20 years ago now. I mean, back in the day, I had a studio in my flat, and there was a lot of sort of musicians sort of coming and going, and I sort of got into it. I love singing. You know, who don't like singing? It's like you know, another form of release, and you know, it sets off endorphins. It makes you feel good and happy. So yeah, no, I did a song like 21 years ago now, that was, and you know, got lucky enough to go tour with it and get on top of the pop. So but I think that's probably my music career over. I think
no, never too late.
I just did it right. Just tap into it, have a bit of fun, and then leave it at that. But
absolutely.
But darling, never say never, because you weren't going to have children. Now you are.
Exactly. Now you start singing lullabies.
Exactly, dear.
Absolutely.
And also, let me talk about your books, darling. So I know you've got 2, but let's talk about Rags to Ricky.
Yeah.
And also, I've heard you talk about as you shared earlier, about your youth and about how much criminality there was around, and that was the norm to have that in your life. That was fascinating.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's like, as you know, if you grow up back in the 70s, and you know, in a council estate, everyone's in the same boat, and it was literally survival. It was no one thought anything different of you know, thieving, petty theft, whatever you want to call it. It was you know, whether it be to put some clothes on our back or to feed ourselves. It was
survival.
That's what it was. It was survival. So you know,
tell us, with this new book, does that take us all the way back and all through your life then?
Yeah. I mean, you know, luckily that the publishers weren't interested in EastEnders and celeb sort of thing. They were more interested in my earlier years. So you know, it was pretty tough to sort of go back. So it was very cathartic. You know, I was when I first sort of sat down and, you know, built myself up to it, as like, oh, okay, I've got to go back and, you know, sort of dig out the demons. And you know, it was tough. It was I started getting a little sort of wound up, and you know, went through the emotions again.
So with this kind of cathartic look back at your life, has that given you the sort of freedom, the key to the door that's open to be the father that you're going to be?
Yeah, it does. I mean, listen, it's always good to talk about things, you know, where however you grow up, it's very important now. It's at the forefront. As I say, back in the day, I was classed as a naughty kid, you know, but little do we know that, you know, there was a lot of, you know, underlying issues that were going on and weren't treated. So it's good to talk about it, you know, because it's quite dismissed.
Do you bring up Al Pacino?
I do. That was a huge part of my my life. It was like, you know, from 13 to 14, you know, over a year of you know, my sort of first teen years is you know, growing up and working with the great Al Pacino.
Wow.
Extraordinary. And didn't he take you under his wing, rather?
He did, yeah. I mean, as you know, we all know he's a huge method actor. So you know, he literally did think he was my dad. You know, he was like, you know, I was seeing him every day, run lines and have lunch with him, and you know, did a lot together. So it was good. It was a special bond.
Oh,
So amazingly. So you've been an actor, a singer, and now you're a writer. What's next?
What's next? Oh God, fatherhood.
Well, I know nappies. We don't call it. We just call it nappies, darling. Just nappies, darling. But after that, is there like another show, or is another book in you? What is there? What's stirring?
I'd love to explore more with cooking.
Yeah.
You know, maybe travel and cooking.
Yes.
I do have some sort of ideas for some stuff, but
and there's
you know,
nothing.
Do it.
You're not going to go back to the standards, Sid.
I might. Yeah, I might do. They did ask me this year, but it weren't the best of timing with book, and then obviously no one knew about like pregnancy, so I was like, okay.
Did you just say? Did you say my pregnancy just then? Did you say my pregnancy?
Yeah, I'm going through.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
I think I'm going through it work.
I love that.
Sid, what's
Thank
the
you
other
so
book?
much.
Sid, what's the other book that you've got there?
That's my cookbook. I did that.
Oh, I didn't know you had a cookbook.
Yeah.
Show us.
Yeah.
Have a look.
Oh, now Sid, I'm going to ask you something. I haven't had a word with the girls, but I'm going to ask you. Now, Bob Barrett, you know, from Holby, Bob Barrett, he comes on here and he cooks for us. I am going to ask you, I'm going to challenge you. Will you come back and cook for us?
Of course.
That's on Zoom, darling. Zoom cooking.
Please.
So think of a dish that you can do that we can follow, but Bob
And how do you
Barrett's
get
in
it to you? Oh, right, you're going to cook. Right, okay. We don't
And
want
then
to
we'll
do it.
No, we're just
out
going to
there.
watch you, darling. We just watch
Okay.
you
Yeah.
cook. And
We're going to
yeah.
watch. We're going to
I
watch
should
you.
cook at the start of the show and then just bring it all. Mind you, everyone's probably a bit too far. I know Debbie's quite close.
I'm
Yeah.
London, darling. So and I do
No,
access to
Manchester.
Castle.
I'll come over.
What
Right,
Bob has done, what Bob Barrett has done is that he cooks and then he shows us, you know, like what he's made earlier. So like to think of a nice signature dish that's not too difficult. You can show us how to do it, and then afterwards we can
Great
send it.
stuff.
We can get sort of special things to send it to each of us. But we'd love you to do that, Sid.
Please.
What's your
100%.
cookbook called?
Called Life on a Plate.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
That would be
Which is, you know,
brilliant.
it's an important thing. It's like, you know, relating how you grew up. It's like back in the day,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we grew up on these, especially me, it was like fish and chips, pie mash, you know, all that common sort of food. that you
Brilliant.
get, and
Love
cooking
it.
wise, it'd be a shepherd's pie. And then as I got a little bit older, I started sort of experimenting, you know, with it. In the book, there was like a Greek family that lived opposite me. So, you know, I started to see all these wonderful sort of Mediterranean dishes, and then
Wow.
you know, so I
Fabulous.
love my cooking.
I'm seeing
Oh,
Celebrity MasterChef. That's all I'm saying.
I've done that already.
Oh, did you
Oh,
win?
Yeah.
I was a finalist. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Sid, you have now got the accolade of becoming the WonderBirds' second chef.
Okay. Perfect.
Or as we like to call
Bob is
it,
a vegan. Bob's
or
our
we like
vegan
to-
chef, isn't he?
Right.
yes,
Okay.
but we like to call it just being a feeder.
I'll feed you up.
Thank you.
Great.
Brilliant.
Thank
That
you
would be
so much,
fantastic.
darling.
Forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, darling.
Lovely to see you. Thanks,
Lovely
Sid.
to
Thank
see you,
you.
Sid.
I'll see you
Good girl.
soon.
Bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
So we've got
Oh.
more meals coming our way. How fabulous.
Oh, another
Oh,
chef.
fabulous.
How interesting. What an interesting life. How sad about his
know.
childhood.
No,
I know.
his
I had
books
no
will be
idea.
great to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to get that book.
We must do that. Bob Barrett will be very jealous though. So I have to tell Bob
Well-
that he's our vegan chef. And then
Vegan,
Yeah,
as you
he's a
say,
vegan
different.
chef, Yeah.
Yes.
This is a prior mash chef.
Yes.
Oh, and
Or just-
eels,
or-
I hope.
I was going to say our feeder chef, I think.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about my grandfather and the eels? You know, he was talking about coming from the same part of London. So when
Yeah.
I was a kid, he used to get live eels and chop them up. And I took a boyfriend back to see my grandparents one day, and he got the boyfriend to cut up the eels as a test. And he was
How long did he last? How long did he last, the boyfriend?
About an hour.
I was going to say half an hour.
I don't know. Why didn't he just refuse to do it?
Oh, he was scared. He wouldn't refuse my grandfather anything.
I
He was
would.
one of those people. Oh, I know. Yes, actually. I bet you would, actually.
I
You'd have
would.
been a good match for
Live
him.
eels? Oh,
Life is horrible. Anyway, so tomorrow we'll be back with Richard Arnold.
yeah.
At last. At last.
Wait.
We
Same
need to see
here.
We need to see him. So anyway, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Bye.
Dormail, home of a great night's sleep.